Hey everybody, it's April. It's time for our hump day plank break, and today I'm going to be talking about what to do about shakeage while you're planking. So we're going to do, I'm going to do half on my forearms and half on my hands. You might just be doing it on your forearms or your hands. You may throw in a side plank, whatever works for you. This is your plank. I'm just kind of talking you through it, being your cheerleader, so to speak. So when you start on your forearms, wrap your hands around your biceps so you have the right distance. And then bring your arms out in front of you. You can either interlace your fingers or just keep your hands flat. I find it a little easier to interlace my fingers. Pull your shoulder blades together, reach them down your back, then lift your upper back, lift your chest, pull in your belly, come up on your toes, and then shift your weight forward so you have your long line. Remember, you're trying to make a plank with your body. And then make sure everything is engaged. Pressing your forearms into the floor if you're on your forearms, pulling in your belly, tightening up your glutes, pressing your heels back. Keeping your gaze just out in front of your fingertips so your neck is neutral, spine stays long. You're not putting too much pressure in your neck by looking up or tucking your chin. We're at 30 seconds already, so this may be your longest hold. That's okay, that's good. Maybe you're working toward a minute today. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was shakeage, which is when your arms or your legs start shaking while you're doing plank. And it wasn't until I was Googling today, looking online for information about shaking while you're planking. That rhymed, didn't it, sort of? Anyway, and there was a term for it, which was shakeage, which I thought was kind of funny. We're at 1 minute. And it was talking about how it's very common. Lots of people ask why they shake while they're doing their plank. So if you find you do start shaking, the longer you hold, that's very common. And basically the reason was as your muscles start to get tired and you're getting a little bit weaker while you're planking, everything starts shaking. It's like your nerve endings, your muscles are trying to connect and keep you holding your plank, and you start shaking. So it's not necessarily 1:30. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't mean you're going to hurt yourself, especially because while you're doing plank, you're stationary. You're not moving around and having the potential for injury. So ideally, everything I was reading today was talking about how the best thing to do to try and get past the shaking is to keep holding and to keep doing it. So maybe 2 minutes. Maybe you don't do a plank every day like I do. Actually, I don't do them on Saturday and Sunday usually, but I do them Monday through Friday. But maybe you do it every other day and try to work on your time. And, I know I do a 5-minute plank, but 5 minutes isn't necessary. You can just do 1 minute. Doing a 1 or 2 minute plank is a great goal to have for yourself. Coming up on 2:30, and I'm going to switch to my hands. And here we go, 2:30. Now remember, whenever you transition, try to come back. You're always working on coming back to your good form. So fingers are spread wide, lifting your upper back, lifting your chest, pulling in your belly, pressing your heels back, tightening up your glutes. Remember the glute action here. That's one of the best things or one of the many great things about plank is you're tightening up your glutes, working on a nice little derriere. So, and again, in all the different articles I was reading about shaking, we're at 3 minutes. One of the big reminders was, if you do start shaking so much that you lose your form, you would be better off to come out of your plank rather than keep holding it while you're shaking. So even right now, I have a little bit of shaking going on. So for me, that's a reminder to come back to my good form. Pressing into the floor, pulling in my belly, always pulling your navel up toward the ceiling like you're trying to pull it through your spinal cord. Tightening up your glutes. Oh, we're at 3:35. Sorry, I forgot to tell you, 3:30. And so, but again, I'm shaking a little bit, but I can still keep my form. Also, a good thing for you to do while you're working on your form, how to know if you have good form, is maybe have your camera on next to you so you can make sure you're still keeping your long line, still pulling in your belly. You can also do your plank near a mirror so you can look at yourself 4 minutes and make sure you're keeping your nice form. again, if you lose your form and you start collapsing, letting your hips drop or lifting them up too high or pulling your shoulder blades together, then you're really losing the benefit of the pose anyway. And it's okay to rest for a little bit and then come back. Coming up on 4:30, and 4:30, here we go. We're in the final stretch. So I don't know why I'm shaking. I'm actually shaking a lot today. That's kind of unusual. I don't usually shake that much. But that also shows you that even though I do it every day, it's still a great workout for me. It's still a good challenge. It's not like, oh, I hit 5 minutes and now I don't get anything out of it. 4:50. So keep reminding yourself, pull in your belly. You've got 5 more seconds. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1, and I'm actually stopping today because my arms are shaking so much. So keeping your good form, that's what you're trying to do in your plank. Ideally, you want to get to where maybe you hold it a minute or 2, but you don't have to do 5. I do 5 just because, and like I was saying, I still get a good workout from it. It's still challenging for me, and it's just a great thing to work into your routine, your daily routine, if you can. I'll be back again tomorrow. See ya.